Welcome to this edition of The District. I am Joan P. Garner, Fulton County Commissioner for District 6. For more than 14 years, the Land Bank Authority has been a critical component of the development and redevelopment efforts of the City of Atlanta, Fulton County, community development corporations, nonprofit and for-profit developers. These entities and various other stakeholders hold a common vision of a city and county that provide a wide array of affordable and market housing combined with vibrant commerce. The Land Bank Authority has significant involvement in creating affordable housing and promoting economic development by leveraging its unique ability to extinguish taxes and serve as the central disposition entity for certain sheriff and marshal deeds. The Land Bank Authority seeks to propel this legacy by boldly moving forward with new initiatives that will further enhance the redevelopment efforts in areas of the City of Atlanta and Fulton County as they emerge from the impact of the recent housing and financial crisis. Chris Norman, Executive Director of the Fulton County City of Atlanta Land Bank Authority, Inc., will join us today to tell us more about the Land Bank Authority and their partnership with the National Church Residences and a project they are working on in District 6. National Church Residences has dedicated a half-century of effort to providing quality housing in affordable, caring communities. Since the opening of their first retirement community in 1961, they have expanded their mission to include the housing needs of seniors, families, and adults, the formerly homeless, persons with disabilities, and a host of supportive health care services. Later in the show, LaShawn Hoffman, Chief Executive Officer of the Pittsburgh Community Improvement Association, will be joining Mr. Norman to discuss their partnership with the Land Bank Authority. The Pittsburgh Community Improvement Association strives to connect residents to people, places, opportunities, and resources to improve the community and the lives of its residents. We have a great show planned. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the District. We have a great show planned for you today. Joining us is Chris Norman, Executive Director of the Fulton County City of Atlanta Land Bank. Chris, welcome to the District. It's great to have you here on my show and for you to give us an update on what the Land Bank has been up to lately. Sure. So would you tell us what the mission of the Land Bank is?
Absolutely. The mission of the Land Bank is really to return delinquent, abandoned, vacant, derelict property back to the property tax rolls, or either to another productive use, such as park or green space or something of that nature.
Well, you know, we've heard a lot about neighborhood stabilization. Could you tell us how the Land Bank has been involved in neighborhood stabilization 1 and 2 programs, or is it 1 and 3 programs?
Sure. So we've been involved in 1 and 3. So under 1, we actually utilize 25% of the City of Atlanta's award allocation for a variety of different purposes. With the legislation, this was the first time that a land bank or land banking has been federally recognized as an allowable use of dollars, CDBG dollars. So we were able to purchase properties. We were able to hold those properties for a period of time, maintaining them until developers were ready. We then have conveyed most of those properties to our development partners throughout the community, for-profits and non-for-profits, that are basically rehabbing those properties and bringing them back online for affordable families. And that was approximately $3 million we utilized for that exercise. Under NSP 3, we were awarded 90% of the funds received by the City of Atlanta, approximately $4.5 million. So in turn, we're using those dollars to buy single-family properties only. Under NSP 1, we bought single-family as well as multifamily. And so we're buying approximately 20 single-family properties throughout designated areas and bringing those back online as well.
That's great. So what other programs is the Land Bank involved in outside of the NSP programs?
Sure. Well, you can see that's a big segment of what we do, but in addition to that, we're quite busy. So we're involved in green space assemblage. We're involved in the community land trust movement that is taking over Atlanta. We are involved in conveying sheriff and marshal deeds that were given to us by the city and the county for further conveyance to affordable housing developers. We've been involved in a new program, the Land Bank and Depository program, which allows us to align with our CDC partners, our community housing development organizational partners, as well as some governments to basically hold and maintain their property for up to 3 to 5 years to allow them to do assemblages and bring that property back online. And since we're an exempt organization, we're able to hold that and provide that benefit to our partners. And so those are several programs. Of course, we mentioned we're involved in some public-private partnerships, which we'll talk about one later on. And so those are some of the programs that we're currently involved in.
Thank you. Well, as County Commissioner, I have had projects in District 6 where we had to discuss utilizing eminent domain to improve the community or to improve a property that was problematic in a community.
Sure.
Could you talk about how the Land Bank is involved in eminent domain, if it is?
Absolutely. That is a question we get often. We do not have eminent domain authority, and so we are not involved in initiating any type of eminent domain action. However, as a land bank, we can be on the backside of any type of activity if that local municipal entity wants us to hold their property while they pull it together for whatever purpose they've deemed correct. So,
I'm glad you explained that. That leads to my next question, which is, could you describe the difference between the new land bank statute and the old land bank statute?
Absolutely. So as most people probably don't know, we were one of the first 4 land banks in the country. There are approximately 100 land banks now. And so back in 1991, we started our land bank. And in 1990, the first piece of legislation was passed by the Georgia State Legislature. So it's been 20 years operating under the first set of legislative rules. And since then, there have been basically 3 iterations or 3 generations of land banks. And so what we did, we, a broad coalition across the state, got together to work on this new law, which is the new Georgia Land Bank Statute. So several things that are different. One, it allows for multi-regional land banks, multi-county land banks. Under existing law, only one county and any cities within that county can establish a land bank. New law allows for multiple counties to cooperate. The counties do not have to be contiguous to form that. Particular benefit for rural counties and other areas that look to leverage their resources. We're able to have our governance changes. Under the existing statute, there are 4 board members, 2 from the county, 2 from the city. Under the new law, it actually converts to a minimum of 5, max of 11. So we'll be bringing on new board members up to 11 under the new statute. So that's one distinction. Under the first law, the statute pretty much narrowly described what we were going to do, which is more or less affordable housing and community gardens and green space and things of that nature. Under the new statute, it basically broadens that out to allow for residential purposes, industrial purposes, green space purposes, all with the intent of not necessarily only doing affordable housing, but a broad array of programs. So now your local community can really custom design what they need for their local community, not just be restricted to housing. If that's 20 years ago, that was a big concern across the state. It remains a concern, but we recognize there are other issues that need to be addressed, so that's an additional change. There's a self-financing mechanism brought into play, which allows for us to basically, if agreed upon by the municipal parents, the land bank can accept up to 75% of the taxes of any property it brings back online for up to 5 years, post-conveyance. And that would exclude any school taxes of the tax bill, but that would actually go back to the land bank to fund operations. So basically knits our mission to our activity. So the more activity we do, the more property we bring back online, the more revenue we generate to support ourselves. And then also, the previous statute was silent on debt, so it allows for us actually to incur debt or to take on credit facilities to assist in our operations. So that is an additional attribute of the new law. So quite a few things have changed. We feel that we're now in the third generation or state-of-the-art land banks, and so we're excited about that.
Good. Well, I know that the Land Bank has completed several projects that have caught the attention of those outside of the Atlanta metro region.
Sure.
Also caught the attention of those around the country. Could you talk about that?
Sure, absolutely. So we have gotten a lot of attention. Atlanta is, in the Fulton area, as you know, are very prominent on the national landscape. And folks are always trying to understand, well, what are they doing in this part of town? Particularly given the fact that we had such a high foreclosure crisis. And so we have been, based on our new land banking depository program that I spoke about earlier, that is one of its, I think it's the only one of its kind in the country. We also have been involved in all those other programs that I've mentioned. So along with that, we have been invited to meet with officials from all across the country. We've been to Philadelphia to talk to their city council, meet with them. We have been to Baltimore. We have spoken at multiple conferences across the country, land banking conference, brownfield conference, community land trust conferences. It's a wide array of things, and we've also been featured in several publications, including Emory Magazine, professional magazines, and things of that nature.
Okay. So it takes a team, actually, to do the work that you're doing. Could you tell us briefly how developers can be part of that team? Absolutely.
So we rely completely and very heavily on our development partners because we do not do development ourselves. So currently we have an RFQ that is out on the street, which we are recruiting development partners to come on board and provide the rehab services for us.
Well, Chris, I know there's a lot more that you could tell us about the Land Bank Authority, so we may have to do a part 2 on this at another time.
Sure.
But at this time, would you please tell our viewers how they could get in touch with the Land Bank if they needed to?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to. You can call us at 404-525-9336. That's our main number. And our website is www.fccalandbank.org.
Chris, thank you so much for your dedication and your commitment to the Land Bank Authority, and I'm so glad that you had an opportunity to share with our viewers what the Land Bank is all about.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
When we return, Chris will tell us more about a project the Land Bank Authority and the National Church Residences partnered on to improve a property in District 6. And LaShawn Hoffman, Chief Executive Officer of the Pittsburgh Community Improvement Association, will be joining Chris Norman to discuss the Pittsburgh Community Improvement Association's partnership with the Land Bank Authority. Welcome back to the district, everyone. If you just tuned into the show, we had a great conversation about the Land Bank Authority with Chris Norman, Executive Director of the Fulton County City of Atlanta Land Bank Authority, Inc. Our conversation continues with Chris telling us about the Land Bank Authority and its partnership with the National Church Residences. National Church Residences has dedicated a half-century of effort to providing quality housing in affordable, caring communities. Since the opening of their first retirement community in 1961, they have expanded their mission to include the housing needs of seniors, families and adults, the formerly homeless persons with disabilities, and a host of supportive health care services. Also joining Chris is LaShawn Hoffman, Chief Executive Officer of the Pittsburgh Community Improvement Association. LaShawn, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Chris, let's start with you first.
Sure.
I know that there is an outstanding project planned for a property in District 6 located at 345 Ashwood Avenue, and it's due to a partnership with the Land Bank Authority and the National Church Residencies. Could you talk to us a little bit and share with our audience the plans that you have for this property at 345 Ashwood Avenue?
Absolutely. This is a great example of public-private partnership as well as leveraging dollars. So we were able to purchase this property with empowerment zone of Cora dollars back in December of 2009. We've held that property for several years. It was a problem to the community. We just demolished that property a few months ago, and we're partnering with National Church Residences to take down this formerly 28-unit non-functional property, and they're going to actually create 42 affordable apartments for seniors, and that will be ready in the latter part of 2013. So a great addition to the community, and we're happy to have been involved in that.
That's great. I am glad to hear that because housing for seniors is much needed in our community. How essential has the involvement of the Land Bank Authority been for making this project possible?
It's been critical because we were the recipient of the initial acquisition dollars. Given the mission of National Church Residences, any additional layering of funds is always helpful to them to keep their affordability in check for the ultimate resident. So we were able to purchase that property, hold it. We're a tax-exempt organization, and so that kind of builds into the pro forma of that, cuts down the holding cost. So it was a huge benefit to the organization for the overall project cost and able to deliver affordable housing for seniors.
Chris, before we move on to talk to LaShawn, do you have anything else that you would like to share with us about the wonderful partnership that you have with National Church Residences?
It's just been a great relationship, very easy to work with. We really support their mission and just excited to have this dynamic partnership with the Land Bank and this national organization.
Thank you. LaShawn.
Hello.
Welcome. It's so great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, welcome to the show. And would you please share with our audience the mission of the Pittsburgh Community Improvement Association?
Sure. We're a neighborhood-based community development corporation serving the historic Pittsburgh community here in Atlanta in District 6.
Well, I know that the Land Bank Authority has worked with the Pittsburgh community to help improve the neighborhood for its residents. Could you describe for us the partnership that you've had with the Land Bank Authority and how important it has been for the work that you're doing in the Pittsburgh community?
Definitely. So our work is kind of embodied in two kind of principles. One is a people-based strategy and the other is a place-based strategy. And thinking about the historic neighborhood that has had a lot of decline and was somewhat of the epicenter for foreclosure, we were able, through a limited liability corporation, to put together an aggressive plan to secure properties in the Pittsburgh neighborhood using neighborhood stabilization dollars from round one to purchase 31 properties and have them all banked at the Land Bank Authority. And where this wasn't our first partnership, definitely take advantage of the Depository program that the Land Bank Authority has allowed us to assemble property and then to really think through a redevelopment strategy that is very thoughtful and helps to revitalize the neighborhood.
Could you expound a little bit more on the benefits of the partnership with the Land Bank Authority?
Definitely. So through the acquisition program, by being able to deposit the properties in the Land Bank Authority, it allowed us to really kind of go back and think through a financing structure that allows us to be able to go in and redevelop those properties. Out of the 31 properties we were able to purchase, to date we have 9 of them that are now back on the tax rolls with another 10 slated to be developed in 2013. So it allows us as a neighborhood to be very thoughtful on how we bring properties back, allow the neighborhood to have control and really be at the forefront of redevelopment. So kind of allowing us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. And the Land Bank Authority plays an essential role because being able to deposit those properties and have them tax exempt while we're assembling financing is a huge opportunity for any kind of community development corporation or housing development partner here in the city of Atlanta as well as in Fulton County.
Chris, would you say something about the importance of the relationship that you and the Land Bank has had with the Pittsburgh Improvement Corporation Association?
Absolutely. We have a long history of working with our community partners, such as PCIA, and so this has allowed us to really focus our efforts on a part of the city and the county that was really affected by the mortgage fraud crisis as well as the foreclosure crisis. And so just by the great work they're doing, kind of leading the way and allowing us to play a role in that, that's been a great opportunity for us to expand what we're doing as well and build new skills, but also to really help something that's really near and dear to all of our hearts that we drive by every day into the city and the county.
Thank you, Chris. Chris and LaShawn, it really has been a pleasure having you join us today. So as we close this interview, LaShawn, could you please tell our audience how they might learn more about the Pittsburgh Improvement Association?
You can visit us at our website at www.pcia-atlanta.org, or feel free to call our office at 404-522-9331.
And once again, Chris, would you please tell our audience how they might be in touch with you at the Land Bank Authority?
Absolutely. You can reach us via phone at 404-525-9336 and visit our website at www.fcca, that's 2 C's, landbank.org.
Again, thank you. When we return, I will share my closing thoughts. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the district. Today we talked with Executive Director of the Land Bank Authority, Chris Norman, about the Land Bank Authority and their amazing projects that improve communities and residents' lives. We also heard from LaShawn Hoffman, Chief Executive Officer of the Pittsburgh Community Improvement Association. The partnerships that were formed between these organizations and the Land Bank Authority have created positive change in communities in Fulton County within District 6. These partnerships have provided resources that lead to sustainable neighborhoods and the residents' self-sufficiency. These are the types of partnerships that are needed to strengthen the economic power of communities and support the needs of residents. I want to thank my guests for their information and education they provided to us today. Thank you for joining us on The District. That's our show for today. Feel free to contact the district office anytime by calling us at 404-612-8226. You can email us at district6@fultoncountyga.gov, tweet with us at ComJoanGarner, and of course, friend us on Facebook. Until we meet again, I'm Commissioner Joan Garner. Thanks for watching The District.